We've just got some breaking news in from Buckingham Palace, folks. So this statement has just come in from Buckingham Palace, and I'll read it for you. It goes on to say, His Majesty has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and...
In the history of the British monarchy, some signatures have changed the course of a nation. A monarch's pen has ended wars, approved governments, and marked the beginning of entirely new royal eras. So when headlines suddenly claimed that King Charles III had signed an emergency decree concerning Prince William's accession, the internet erupted with speculation. Had something extraordinary happened behind palace walls? Had the future of the crown been accelerated in secret? And if so, why were royal insiders reportedly left stunned? Before we go any further, one crucial fact must be established. There is no verified public evidence that King Charles III has signed any emergency decree altering Prince William's accession or changing the established line of succession. The British monarchy operates under constitutional law, and any claims suggesting an emergency transfer of royal authority should be treated with caution unless confirmed by official sources. Yet the rumor itself reveals something fascinating. Why were millions of people willing to believe it almost instantly? Perhaps because Britain is living through one of the most significant periods of royal transition in modern history. King Charles is the first monarch of a new generation after Queen Elizabeth II's historic reign. Prince William is preparing for responsibilities unlike any future king has faced before. And the public is watching every appearance, every speech, and every decision for clues about what comes next. Could there ever be circumstances that require extraordinary constitutional action? How does a royal succession actually work? And why has the relationship between King Charles and Prince William become one of the most closely examined partnerships in the modern monarchy? To answer those questions, we must step beyond sensational headlines and into the remarkable story of duty, preparation, constitutional tradition, and the quiet transfer of responsibility that has defined the British crown for centuries. Long before King Charles III ascended the throne, the future of the British monarchy had already become a story spanning generations rather than individuals. The crown is unlike most institutions in the modern world. It is built on continuity. Every monarch understands that they are not simply leading in the present. They are preserving something inherited from the past while preparing it for the future. That delicate balance explains why even the smallest rumor about succession can command global attention. The claim that King Charles signed an emergency decree regarding Prince William's accession immediately captured public imagination because it touched on one of the monarchy's most sacred principles, the orderly transfer of the crown. In reality, the British system is designed to avoid uncertainty. Succession follows well-established constitutional rules. Upon the death of a monarch, the heir succeeds immediately by operation of law. There is no election, no waiting period, and no emergency decree required to make the new sovereign legitimate. The historic phrase, "The king is dead, long live the king," reflects this seamless continuity. That tradition has protected the monarchy through wars, political upheaval, and dramatic social change for centuries. Yet understanding the legal framework is only one part of the story. The emotional dimension is equally compelling. King Charles spent more than 7 decades preparing for a role he could never fully practice until the moment it became reality. No previous British heir had waited longer to become monarch. Throughout those years, he developed interests in architecture, environmental conservation, interfaith dialogue, and charitable work, often shaping public conversations long before many of those issues entered the mainstream. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022, Charles inherited not only the throne, but also the enormous expectations that came with following Britain's longest reigning monarch. His accession represented both continuity and change. He inherited centuries of tradition while leading a monarchy facing new expectations from a rapidly changing world. Alongside him stood Queen Camilla, whose own public journey had been one of the most remarkable transformations in modern royal history. Over time, her charitable work and steady public presence gradually reshaped many public perceptions, though opinions remained diverse. At the same time, another figure quietly assumed even greater importance: Prince William. As Prince of Wales, William became the direct heir to the throne, moving one step closer to becoming king. His responsibilities expanded almost immediately. Official engagements increased. International attention intensified. Every public appearance began carrying greater constitutional significance. Unlike many future monarchs before him, William has lived nearly his entire life under the gaze of global media. He experienced extraordinary privilege alongside profound personal loss. The death of his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, became one of the defining moments of modern royal history. Watching millions mourn alongside his brother while still a teenager shaped William's understanding of public duty in ways few people could imagine. Many royal commentators believe those experiences influenced the careful balance he now seeks between public service and private family life. He and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have consistently emphasized protecting Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis from unnecessary public exposure while gradually introducing them to royal responsibilities. Their approach reflects lessons learned from previous generations. Preparation matters. Not simply constitutional preparation, but emotional preparation. Because becoming sovereign is not merely accepting a title. It means accepting lifelong responsibility. Every handshake, every state visit, every remembrance ceremony, every audience with the Prime Minister, every speech delivered during moments of national celebration or grief. These duties cannot be mastered overnight. They require decades of observation, mentorship, and experience. King Charles understands this better than almost anyone alive. Having waited most of his lifetime to wear the crown, he appreciates the value of gradual preparation rather than sudden transition. That perspective explains why speculation about emergency constitutional changes often conflicts with the monarchy's historical character. The institution values stability. Its greatest strength has often been patience rather than speed. While headlines suggest dramatic overnight developments, the reality is usually far quieter. Preparation continues behind palace walls. Private meetings, official briefings, constitutional education, state documents, carefully planned public engagements. These rarely become front-page news, yet they shape the monarchy's future far more than sensational rumors ever could. The relationship between King Charles and Prince William therefore represents something larger than a father and son. It symbolizes the transfer of institutional knowledge across generations. Charles inherited lessons from Queen Elizabeth II. William learns from Charles while also bringing his own perspective to modern royal service. One day, Prince George will likely begin that same journey. This chain of continuity has allowed the monarchy to survive extraordinary historical change. It is not built on emergency declarations. It is built on gradual succession, careful preparation, and constitutional certainty. Still, the rumor about an emergency decree raises an intriguing question. If no such decree has been publicly announced, why did so many people find the story believable? Was it simply another example of misinformation spreading online? Or does it reflect a deeper public awareness that the monarchy is entering one of the most significant periods of transition since the reign of Queen Elizabeth II? To answer that, we must look beyond the headline itself and examine how public perception, constitutional reality, and the evolving roles of King Charles and Prince William continue to shape the future of Britain's oldest institution. The rumor began the way many modern royal stories do, not inside Buckingham Palace, but online. A dramatic headline appeared, claiming that King Charles III had signed an emergency decree concerning Prince William's accession. Within hours, social media posts, videos, and commentary transformed the claim into something that sounded increasingly official. Some versions suggested that Charles was preparing to step aside. Others implied that a hidden constitutional process had already begun. For many readers, the story seemed believable, not because there was evidence, but because it aligned with an atmosphere of curiosity surrounding the future of the monarchy. In the United Kingdom's constitutional monarchy, succession does not depend on an emergency order from the reigning sovereign. It is governed by long-established law. When a monarch dies, the heir succeeds immediately and automatically. Ceremonies such as the Accession Council formally proclaim the new sovereign, but they do not create the succession. They recognize a legal reality that has already taken effect. This distinction is crucial. It means that the future of Prince William's accession is not something a single emergency signature can simply rewrite. Yet the popularity of the rumor reveals something fascinating about the public mood. King Charles assumed the throne after the extraordinary 70-year reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The transition marked one of the most significant moments in modern British history. Naturally, people began wondering how the next transition might unfold. Prince William's growing prominence has only intensified those questions. His public calendar has expanded considerably since becoming Prince of Wales. He has represented the crown at state occasions, undertaken overseas visits, and continued initiatives focused on environmental innovation, homelessness, and mental health. To many observers, he appears increasingly prepared for the responsibilities that await him. Some royal commentators have suggested that King Charles has deliberately entrusted William with more visible responsibilities, allowing him to gain experience while supporting the work of the crown. That interpretation reflects a gradual evolution within the institution, not evidence of an imminent constitutional change. The distinction matters. Preparing an heir is not the same as transferring the throne. History offers many examples of this careful balance. Queen Elizabeth II gradually increased Charles's responsibilities over decades, allowing him to develop experience while she remained firmly committed to her constitutional duties. Charles now appears to be following a similar pattern with William. Rather than signaling an abrupt handover, it reflects continuity. Inside the royal household, such continuity is essential. State visits require meticulous planning. Constitutional ceremonies demand precision. Meetings with government officials, diplomats, military leaders, and charitable organizations continue regardless of online speculation. The machinery of the monarchy is designed to function steadily, even while public attention shifts from one headline to the next. That steady rhythm stands in sharp contrast to the pace of modern media. A rumor can circle the globe in minutes. Verification often takes much longer. Royal experts have repeatedly noted that social media rewards certainty, even when certainty is unwarranted. Dramatic claims generate attention. Measured explanations rarely spread as quickly. This creates an unusual challenge for an institution that traditionally avoids commenting on every rumor. Buckingham Palace has long favored official announcements over constant rebuttals. Silence, in many cases, reflects constitutional discipline rather than agreement. For audiences accustomed to instant responses, that silence can sometimes create even more speculation. But beneath the headlines lies a more meaningful story. It is the story of preparation. King Charles understands the weight of succession better than anyone. Having spent most of his life as heir apparent, he knows that becoming monarch is not simply inheriting a title. It means becoming the living symbol of constitutional continuity. That understanding shapes how he approaches his relationship with Prince William. While their personalities differ, both men have emphasized service over spectacle in many of their public engagements. William, in turn, appears increasingly aware that his role extends beyond representing the present generation. He is also preparing the generation that follows. Prince George's carefully managed public appearances reflect that philosophy. Rather than placing him constantly before cameras, William and Catherine have chosen gradual exposure, allowing him to experience major national events while preserving as much normal childhood as possible. This measured approach mirrors the broader philosophy of the monarchy itself. Responsibility should be introduced steadily, not suddenly. Perhaps that is why the fictional emergency decree resonated with so many people. It imagined dramatic change. The reality is more subtle, but arguably far more significant. Instead of sudden constitutional upheaval, Britain is witnessing a carefully managed transition of experience. King Charles leads. Prince William prepares. Prince George quietly observes. Each generation learns from the one before it. That process cannot be rushed by headlines, nor can it be accelerated by speculation. Still, one profound question remains. As King Charles continues shaping his reign and Prince William steps ever closer to the responsibilities that await him, what kind of monarchy will the next generation inherit? And how will today's quiet preparation influence the crown for decades to come? If history teaches us anything about the British monarchy, it is that its greatest transformations rarely happen in a single dramatic moment. They unfold gradually, through years of preparation. Through quiet decisions that receive little attention at the time, but later come to define an entire era. That is perhaps the most important lesson hidden beneath the fictional headline about an emergency decree. The The future of the crown is unlikely to be determined by one signature on one document. It will be shaped by decades of leadership, public confidence, and the ability of each generation to adapt without losing sight of the institution's purpose. King Charles III inherited more than a throne. He inherited the responsibility of guiding one of the world's oldest constitutional institutions through a century that looks very different from the one his mother first entered as queen. Public expectations have changed. Technology has changed. The relationship between citizens and public institutions has changed. The monarchy has had to evolve alongside them. That evolution is rarely dramatic. It is usually measured, careful, intentional. Charles has often emphasized service as the defining principle of the crown. Whether meeting community volunteers, supporting environmental initiatives, or representing Britain abroad, his reign has sought to reinforce the idea that monarchy is ultimately about duty rather than personal prominence. Prince William appears poised to build upon that foundation while bringing his own perspective to the role. Many royal commentators have observed that William combines respect for centuries-old traditions with an understanding of contemporary public expectations. His work on environmental innovation through the Earthshot Prize, his focus on homelessness, and his advocacy for mental health all suggest a future monarch interested in connecting the institution to everyday challenges. According to several royal observers, this balance between tradition and relevance may become one of the defining characteristics of his eventual reign. Whether that prediction proves correct remains to be seen, but the direction is unmistakable. The monarchy is preparing not simply to preserve history, but to remain meaningful in the future. That future also belongs to Catherine, Princess of Wales. Throughout her years in public life, Catherine has become known for her calm presence, careful preparation, and commitment to family alongside royal duty. During periods of personal health challenges, she received an extraordinary outpouring of public support, illustrating the deep emotional connection many people feel toward the Wales family. Together, William and Catherine increasingly represent continuity, not because they reject change, but because they embody a measured approach to it. Their greatest responsibility may not be managing today's headlines. It may be preparing Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis for responsibilities they cannot yet fully understand. Every public appearance, every national celebration, every remembrance ceremony, every lesson about compassion, restraint, and service becomes part of an education that cannot be learned from books alone. This is how royal legacy is passed from one generation to the next, not through emergency declarations, not through viral speculation, but through lived example. History also reminds us that public perception is never fixed. King Charles spent decades as heir before becoming sovereign. Queen Camilla's public role evolved significantly over time through years of consistent service. Prince William himself has grown from a young prince navigating immense personal tragedy into a future king, carrying increasing constitutional responsibility. Each journey reflects the same truth. Reputation is built patiently. Trust is earned gradually. Legacy cannot be rushed. The internet rewards speed. The monarchy rewards endurance. Perhaps that contrast explains why sensational stories continue to attract enormous audiences. They promise instant transformation. Reality usually offers something quieter, but often far more meaningful. The enduring strength of the crown has never depended on dramatic gestures alone. It has depended on continuity, on constitutional stability, on the willingness of each generation to prepare the next with humility and purpose. As Britain looks toward the decades ahead, the questions that truly matter extend beyond any rumor or headline. How will King Charles define his reign? What kind of sovereign will Prince William become? How will Prince George one day interpret the responsibilities being quietly demonstrated before him today? Those answers cannot be found in speculation. They will emerge through years of service, moments of challenge, and the choices made when no cameras are present. Because in the end, the British monarchy is not sustained by declarations or dramatic headlines. It is sustained by the enduring belief that every generation serves as a temporary guardian of something far greater than itself. That may be the crown's greatest legacy and its greatest challenge for the future. The story of the British monarchy is never just about crowns, ceremonies, or headlines. It is about legacy, responsibility, and the quiet decisions that shape history over generations. While rumors may capture attention for a moment, it is verified history and genuine public service that ultimately define a monarch's place in history. What do you think? As King Charles continues his reign and Prince William prepares for the future, what qualities do you believe will matter most for the next generation of the royal family? Share your thoughts and join the conversation in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the history, traditions, and untold stories behind the British royal family. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.